Is AEW Fight Forever about to make a comeback? We got new reports regarding the game, some of the future updates that we could be seeing with it going forward. But is it enough? Is it going to be enough to be able to bring players back if we do see a bit of a resurgence with this game? 4 months. It has been 4 months since AEW Fight Forever has hit the shelves, and players they're not really playing this game anymore. In fact, many people dropped off after just a week or two, just anecdotally based on the interactions I've had with players online. The player base on Steam is very low. They introduced Stadium Stampede, and in my opinion, it wasn't enough to bring players back to get their hands on this game and play any more of it. There are good qualities with the game, but there is a lot of issues with regards to gameplay mechanics, pin systems, reversals, heck, even just the depth of the overall game experience for players. And it may not be enough to bring players back if they only do these few changes. What we're talking about is the latest report coming in from Fightful Select, where they have talked about the potential for additional wrestlers being added in for a season 2 of content. Fightful Select had actually reached out to see what, if any, of the future plans were going to be for the game, and really anything that we might see on the horizon. According to Fightful, despite there being a heavy internal push to promote the game, particularly at talent meetings, Fight Forever reportedly has not been a topic of discussion backstage in the company lately. Now, in terms of an internal push, you can still see marketing for AEW Fight Forever all over Dynamite and Collision. It's on the stage. You can see it kind of everywhere within the promotion. However, you don't see advertising for the game online. You might just see a little bit when it comes to the most recent DLC, AEW THQ Nordic posting clips of some of the matches and stuff to do when it's time for like Dynamite, for example, but you do not see any news information regarding the potential for new match types, additional content, anything like that. In fact, it's been very, very quiet, and we're only a few months removed from the game's launch. Fightful then added that they had also been told in recent weeks that scans for new AEW talent had been done recently in an attempt to get them added to the game. Now, this is not a new thing. In fact, if we are going to get scans done of different AEW wrestlers, we've heard of this even when the game was in development, for the likes of the Acclaimed getting their scans done but not being added into the game. FTR, the same thing, and we saw them added in as day 1 DLC. So even though we do hear of rumblings of wrestlers getting scans done for the game, that doesn't mean that we are necessarily going to see them added in next week or next month. In fact, we may not see them at all. It is hopeful, and it gives me hope, that we are going to see more talent added in, like the Acclaimed, like the rest of House of Black, even bringing in Adam Copeland. We still need Jamie Hayter, Saraya. There are a lot of talent in there that we need, and the overall roster for day 1 for what we have right now is fairly healthy for AEW Fight Forever. Fightful continues to say that while it's unclear who exactly this could pertain to, there are many top talent on the roster not currently included, like Swerve Strickland, and of course the recently signed Adam Copeland. Now, is it enough to get players back into the game by just releasing a potential season 2 of content? To me, not necessarily. If the approach for Fight Forever's next round of, or potential next round of content and DLC drop is just that, if it's just more mini games and it's more wrestlers being added in, such as the Acclaimed or Adam Copeland, for example, those are great additions and they should be there, and we should get more out of the game. We have seen some patch updates coming in to do a lot of hot fixes, and there's been a wide list of fixes that they have done for internally for the game, but the substantial fixes that players are asking for and are clamoring for are with regards to expanded content in the way of match types, modes, more big features to really super shoot this thing in the arm. Get the price reduced as well, I think, is a big component. Maybe put the game on Game Pass and make it more readily available for players at a very deep discounted price right now. And also consider releasing new DLC and Season 2 content at a reduced rate. I think the Season Pass around $30 is fine, but I don't feel that minigames are something that players were clamoring for, like we've talked about in previous videos. If you are going to release the likes of Adam Copeland, Acclaimed, and more, then I think you need to do a little bit more with this by releasing additional match types, cage matches, tornado tags, clean up the pin system, the reversals, get players and fans excited. Almost, in my opinion, try to go with a reboot of a 2.0. We're only months into this game being out in the wild, I understand that, but you really do need to garner some attention of this game if you want it to have any any lifespan going forward. Fight Forever is not supposed to be an annualized release, and if it's a one shot and it's just going to be service updates, live updates, you need to be able to do more. Not being able to have tag team ladder matches, tornado tag teams, having the gauntlet matches, handicap matches, basic things like a cage match, those are the things that players are needing. Create a pay-per-view, more actual elements for creation suite, more arena creation elements. Your creator wrestler features are limited. There's so much the game needs right now if it's going to have any chance of moving forward. Where I have some fear is that THQ Nordic and AEW Games, they simply release, for example, Adam Copeland as a standalone DLC and announce him as the headliner for Season 2 content. And I can see them doing this and releasing it around November of this year. You want to be able to release new content for the holiday season, makes total sense. But I don't think it's enough value for players, because quite honestly, if you are a hardcore AEW fan, you're probably going to pick this up. That's wonderful. But if you are a little bit more casual and you see Edge or Adam Copeland is made available in Fight Forever, and you've played the game, you picked it up for a few weeks and then you dropped it, I don't know if that's enough for you to jump back in when you do have the options of, say, 2K, where Edge is in the game already and there's alts for Edge and you can recreate stuff and have a bigger roster. They're not one-to-one games by any means, but I do think that the big piece that I would stress for AEW Games is you gotta come out of the gate swinging if you're gonna do a Season 2 batch of content and making something that's gonna be worthwhile to players. Players want to be able to play this game more. They want a reason to pick it up. But when the Steam numbers for online are virtually dead, we're not seeing crazy promotion for the game anymore. All of the announced DLC is now done. To me, we can't just have the game come out with a Season 2 of DLC content and expect that to be enough to bring players back. But is it enough for you? What do you need to see in Fight Forever in order to pick it back up? We're getting into the fall, and with only 4 months into the game's release, it really feels like everyone has moved on. And I hope that AEW Games comes out swinging with way more content, way more match types and modes, and they really boost this thing to give the players a reason why they want to pick up the game again.